Hi everyone, and welcome to Zonked Talk, a podcast about everything gaming, movies, and more. For the first time together in studio, here's your hosts Jacob and Will.
Ready. Damn, I do sound good in this.
What's up, guys? We're on our first live in studio.
In person, both together.
Yeah, together. First time. Welcome to the layer.
The
What is
layer.
this? This is a layer, I guess.
Okay, that works.
The layer.
I go with that. The lair.
The layer of unknown.
Of the unknown. Wait, I can just look around and it becomes known. Wait.
He said, wait, I know where I'm at.
I fucked the title up.
Well, how are you? This is the first time we've actually done it in person. Zonked.
Zonked. We got zonked. And now we're shooting a podcast.
Yep.
Joining us in our studio today is Sarah off camera because she was giving us a hand.
Yes, we're gonna thank Sarah for being our camera person today.
Being our assistant.
We have quite a few topics actually today. I spent my week doing a lot of research.
I can see that.
Yes, as you can see.
All right.
So actually, the first thing I'm gonna talk about is the fact that I just watched the Adam Sandler movie that he just released on Netflix called Spaceman.
Yeah, I wanted to check that out. It looks trippy, man. I have so many questions, but I don't know if I want to ask you and just have you answer them or if I want to watch it myself.
So I can tell you what basically the little bit that I figured I would share that hopefully doesn't spoil it. It's not your normal Adam Sandler movie. It's not a comedy. Most of us expect it to be some type of comedy. It's not.
I didn't.
Okay, so
the first time I was introduced to it though was watching the trailer and it did not come across as funny at all.
I was looking up movies that were coming out and I saw Spaceman and it said Netflix, so I looked at it and then I saw Adam Sandler and at first I assumed Adam Sandler it's going to be a comedy. Well, then I looked, before I watched it, I knew it wasn't going to be a comedy, but still, I'm used to seeing Adam Sandler in a comedy.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, I kind of just assumed.
Well, you were a little let down when you realized it wasn't a comedy?
I was a little bit, but
I just think the isolation in space is just hilarious.
It was a great, well, yes, it was a great movie, but at the same time, it was one of those that, okay, so he met another space explorer, I'm going to call it. If you haven't seen it, and I'm not going to spoil it.
I've seen the trailer.
Okay, I didn't watch the trailer, so I don't know.
Okay, so the big spider thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Giant space explorer. Okay, so giant space explorer meets giant space explorer, basically.
Hmm.
And basically, I feel like the movie really seems to show you the value of life and basically to cherish it, that we should not take things for granted. Basically, don't live in the shit that happened to you in your past. You want to...
It's deep.
Yes.
Deep.
There's a very deep... Yes, there's a very deep meaning to this.
Adam Sandler's movies have been getting kind of weird lately, though. Like, every time he releases a new movie, I don't know how to feel about it. Like, when I was a kid, they would be like, Adam Sandler's making a movie. I'd be pumped. But now I'm like, all right, now tell me a little more before I get excited. Yeah. Like, did you watch that other one with his daughter and, like, you're uninvited to my bar mitzvah or whatever?
No.
Yeah, it wasn't made for me. It just wasn't made for me, man. I did see it, and I didn't care for it at all.
Not at all?
No, not even remotely. You can watch it if you want. I'm not going to give more detail on it than that, though, aside from it's literally the title. You're uninvited. What do you think it's about? You're uninvited to my bar mitzvah.
Well, I'm going to assume you're not going to be able to come to my bar mitzvah anymore, apparently.
Bam, you got the storyline. Summed it up.
So, I guess that's really all I have about that movie, unless you have any questions you would like to ask, because, I'm not,
okay.
I wasn't trying to go too far into detail and spoil it, but if you have questions, I can answer without spoiling,
I guess,
as opposed to just coming up with what to say.
The best question I can think of is a yes or no that pretty much will sum it up for me, but I'll watch it anyways, I guess, and that's, is the bug in his head, or is it a real other thing?
Okay, so the entire movie, I definitely, to an extent, I think he was just going crazy.
That was my guess. Because isolation in space, that's like whatever, you're going to go nuts.
But at the same time, they do a very good job of showing it as of where that's not the case. They make it seem like...
So they kind of keep you guessing, in a
yes,
sense?
the entire time.
Open
it
to viewers'
think
interpretation.
That it might be there. Yeah, because up until the very, very end of the movie, I was like, maybe it's there. And then at the very end, I was like, no, I'm pretty sure he was just going crazy the entire time. Like, I had the feeling he was, but it was at the very end, it was like, he was like basically,
just lost his shit.
yeah, basically. The next one, I'm not really touching too far on it just because I don't know much about it, but it is a good movie.
Yeah.
Kung Fu Panda 4 will be coming out on the Friday before we are releasing this episode.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Rad.
I
haven't watched
actually-
the Kung Fu Panda anything since like the first one though.
Well, yeah, actually, I was looking into it. The last one I watched was the second one.
Yeah.
That's why
They're supposed to be releasing another Despicable Me movie too soon. Or I don't know about soon, but they're supposed to be releasing another Despicable Me.
That doesn't surprise me. I watched Ghostbusters for the first time.
I can't.
Actually, the first one and the second one, just because I saw the trailer for the newest one that's coming out.
So you finally get references to it?
Yes.
People finally make references. So if I walk up to you and say, I'm the gatekeeper, are you the keymaster?
I knew that. See, but that's the thing. I knew things like that. Like, I could tell you that was Ghostbusters before I've watched
Yeah.
Ghostbusters.
It was one of those movies where
I knew,
references
yes,
that.
I knew things from Ghostbusters. I just had never watched them, but I did watch it. Great movie, honestly. My favorite part was where Casey Kasem, who played Jaggy in some of the Scooby-Doo's, was the radio host for the American Top 40, because growing up, me and my grandpa used to listen to Casey Kasem American
nice.
Top 40s on the radio.
I remember hearing it, but I didn't really listen to it.
So-
That's the second one, right?
That was the first one
That was
that
the first
happened on.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's been a minute. I remember watching it. So you get all the Zool jokes now, though.
Yes.
Like, now come Christmas, you're going to see instead of Elf on a Shelf, it's Zool on a Stool.
I've seen those. Yeah, I've seen those.
Corny.
But in the newest one, I guess, is going to be released at the end of this month. It's going to be released on the 22nd. And it's got Bill Murray, which was in the original one, Ernie Hudson, and then Paul Rudd, who plays in
Paul Rudd.
Ted. Yeah.
Yeah, Ant-Man.
Yeah, Ant-Man. That's where else he's from. I knew him from somewhere else, but
Knocked
he is.
I know. I love Paul Rudd.
I was going to say, he'll be in the new Ghostbusters movie.
You know, I think I saw that because I saw the trailer. I saw he was in it. That's rad.
Now, you were telling me about Crow. Was that a movie or a game?
The Crow. It was a comic book. It was a comic
Comic
book.
book.
But
Next, let's hear about this.
you know who Bruce Lee is?
Of course I know who Bruce Lee is. Who doesn't know who Bruce Lee is?
Do you know who?
If you don't know who Bruce Lee is, get off this podcast.
Do you know who Brandon Lee is?
I'm assuming it's his son.
You're right. You're right.
I
I was
was gonna say
legitimately waiting for like crickets for a second. They're like, you don't know who Bruce Lee is? Fuck you! And then be like, you know who Brandon Lee is? No. Yeah,
Is it-
you're right. It's his son. He was the lead actor in the first Crow movie, like the one that came out a long time ago, and he did amazing, but he died during filming. He was fatally shot with a prop gun. During
Oh
one of
yeah,
the stunt
okay, I
scenes.
knew about that.
Yeah, so they released a couple of them since then, and they all kind of, like I don't remember it. It's like City of Angels is the sequel and stuff, but I don't remember any of them past the first one because the first one's the only good one. So they're bringing back the movies, and they're using it as the Crow, which if you know Bill Skarsgård doesn't really look anything like Brandon Lee, but I don't know I feel like people who are hating on it the most are the ones who never read or looked at the comic books. Because he does look more like he did in the comics, but I really don't know how to feel about it either. My TikTok's been blowing up about it, though, lately, so that's why I wanted to bring it up, because I loved The Crow.
I don't really watch TikTok too much.
I'm
I
on
let
TikTok
you take care of that. I started on X because I made the Zonked Talk X account.
Oh, yeah?
But other than that, I'm not really on there.
Oh, I TikTok it. Like, did you hear about the Willy Wonka thing?
No.
Oh, my God.
Are you
That
talking
is-
about the movie? Didn't they just release a new Willy Wonka movie thing
Okay.
called Wonka or whatever?
This might fall in the others category of the
That's
podcast
fine,
a
we
little
can
bit
skip
here.
around.
Because this is crazy shit and it has nothing to do with movies, I guess, a little bit. Willy Wonka. It doesn't have anything to do with Willy Wonka movies though. So this guy made this production house. I can't think of his name. I think it's like Will something. He made this production house and called it the House of Illuminati, and he's been releasing live events, right? So people can pay to go to these like crazy live events, and people expect it to be kind of like Otherworld or the Van Gogh art exhibit, things like that. They kind of expected that stuff, right? And this isn't like Ireland or something like that. So people paid $35, $40 to go to this thing, and they get to it, and it's like a bunch of crappy props in a warehouse. It's like empty, and each kid got like a jelly bean, and like they got so upset that they called the police and had the police show up, and the actors that were paid to be there weren't even paid. They never got paid. And the whole thing was set up by like that one guy, right? He used AI to make all of it. he used AI to make the marketing images. Like the words were spelled wrong on the posters and stuff because he just left the AI words in there and everything. Oh, it was so bad. And freaking TikTok has been blowing up about it because now AI introduced a new character into the world of Willy Wonka because they used an AI generated script, and it started making characters that were never in it. And now we have witnessed the birth of the unknown. It's so, Sarah, pull a clip of that up on your phone real quick. I just want to see a clip of it because it's so bad. It's funny. I don't know if you can get it on your computer though because it's on a TikTok, but just look up the Willy Wonka experience unknown. It's so bad. And
we are gonna find out. Hold with us momentarily while I find this video. Turn that sound off.
Oh yeah, here, so I found it.
Imagine being average. Being this.
Looks like Candyland.
It's so bad. I was in Scotland, not Ireland, and they like legally couldn't call it Willy Wonka or anything like that, like the capital, so they had to like tweak everything too, so everything's like way off. On the upside though, I did see one video of a little kid who seemed like she had a pretty good time.
Looks like that kid got smacked in the face.
They were all given like 3 jelly beans, and it's supposed to be a Willy Wonka experience where you're like candies everywhere and stuff, and they got 3 jelly beans and a half a glass of lemonade. House of Illuminati. That's a red flag right there just by the name. Doesn't that suck?
That's great. That's great.
I just had to tell you about that too, because that's been blowing up on the internet right now. And the birth of the unknown. Too.
I mean, at the same time though, kind of looks like when they showed up, it looked like it was supposed to be like an art exhibit type thing.
Yeah, I think that's what it's being.
I mean, understandingly, you'd pay probably $40 for something. I mean, depending on if
the things there weren't really like art prop things; they were props that you can rent for like birthday parties.
Somebody knew how to make their money. What do you want me to tell you? Somebody knew how to play the system, I guess.
Damn,
Moving on. Have you seen anything about Sony? They've aligned with companies like Microsoft and Riot Games, and they have laid off 900 people, completely shutting down a London studio.
I did catch some of that because since Sony is laying off so many people, they have ceased development on a game that was kind of like not supposed to be told that they were working on it anyways, but they were. Was the new Twisted Metal game.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that the one you sent me a TikTok about earlier?
Yeah, it linked to that, oddly enough, because Sony's laying those people off now. There's not going to be a new Twisted Metal game, but they never really announced that there was gonna be. It was kind of like they just knew. Everybody knew they were developing it. Like there was even video of it, but they just never announced.
Apparently, they're having the layoffs because they're having a hard time coming back from a post-pandemic slump. Basically, from what I found, the global video game market grew 0.6% last year to $184 billion, according to Newzoo.
Everybody's locked inside.
But you also have to think in 2022 there was a decline of more than 5%.
Well, yeah. Well, people were locked inside, and then they got outside, and then they went back inside.
Right. So it seems like there's been a fluctuation, but I'm very, very interested to see what's gonna come with the gaming community, simply with the fact that Microsoft has said they're gonna supposedly stop making consoles.
Did you look into that?
Not too much more, but I know, like, basically after this, that makes me think, okay, so is the 6 going to come out anytime soon? I know they said that I also read that during the next fiscal year that the price and the sales on the Xbox, or the PlayStation 5, I almost called it an Xbox 5.
Yeah, the Xbox 5.
The PlayStation 5 are going to decrease.
Oh. Well, I want a PlayStation 5.
I would like a PlayStation 5 one day. I have the Xbox already. I have a new gen Xbox. I want the PlayStation just because.
I have a PC.
I have that too.
Thanks for listening, and like, comment, and subscribe on all major platforms. New episodes every Monday. Deuces Zonkers.